Hi, so here is my old deck that came originally with the home. Um, some people might consider this is like okay shape deck, and there's no reason to really replace it. But the boards, you can see there are some holes in there. The paint started peeling, so people who sold the house decided to mask uh, the problem, which was rotten, boards on top. They just painted it over. The most annoying part was, for me at least, when I started blowing the dust or the leaves off this deck, and all this peeled, the paint just kept peeling. Like each time that you use the blower, it just kind of, the blower picks up the whole bunch of paint and it just flies all over. So like you could see like the paint was all over my backyard and on the grass, and it got so annoying. Plus this hole, I don't know like if there's any raccoons in there or anything, but seems like nobody living there. Anyway, so here I just decided to replace it. So these are the new boards I picked out, and the ones on the left are the ones I'm gonna use because they're so cheap in Home Depot, like $18 per board or something. For 12 feet, that's the only length they have, so that's kind of sucks. Here are the tools I'm gonna use. Just hammer and a couple crowbars, and you can see how bad this backing is. Just at some places I was surprised it was actually good. So my wife here pretty much bending those nails so nobody will step, so for safety. And now she's complaining that she just did her nails, and now she doesn't want to deal with this and get them dirty. So here, after we got everything ripped off, pretty much, the boards, after I inspected all of them, looked to be okay. There was some of them kind of bad. On one side you can see I just sandwiched them, so pretty much sandwiching means like putting the board next to it and just screwing it down. I did some blocking later and replaced those bad hangers. As you can see, those metal pieces that hold the board, they're rotten because there was a condensate coming out from the air conditioning, which I fixed it later. I'll show you how, by extending like a longer pipe. There is another hose that was coming from the house. I have no idea what it is, but I still extended just to not have any moisture accumulate next to the wood. So the beam seemed like it was okay. It was thick, and I decided to just give it a quick run with the sander to feel like make sure it's even, and because it seemed like it was a bumpy, since the moisture was coming at portions where the board was joined to the other board, and there was little bumps in between, plus all these things that, you know, I just wanted my deck to be nice and even. This was kind of like not very fun, but mask helped, and this old paint was definitely on my way, and it was not very sandable. So I mean, after some time, just, you know, replace the blocks underneath because those blocks pretty much collapsed, the support blocks, and leveled the whole deck because all the blocks were different shape and height. So put little string, tightened the string, seemed like it was straight. I mean, I'm sure it will change over time since the soil underneath always change shape. Those are the replacement hangers that I used, and just I placed the new ones over the old ones over pretty much on top like this right here, instead of replacing the whole thing, which would be pain to rip them off, and since they're so rusted. So here I want to show how I extended this PVC here. This pipe was for condensation. It was very short, like maybe 12 inches away from the house, and the condensation was dripping next to the house and back to the under the pretty much itself, and corrosion and things like that, some rot right on the wood next to the actual house. So this black tape on top, I think it's called butyl tape. If you want to add this as a protection, helps kind of avoid water sitting on top of your joists and beams, and not corrode your screws, and loosen up your boards. I added also a beam, and there's like a thick tape for this beam. So this beam I added in the middle just for the like extra support, because the composite boards are actually much heavier than the cedar boards, and you don't want your deck to slowly, like your 2x10s or whatever you have, to slowly kind of lose shape because of that. So yeah, those are new boards. Had to change some and add some boards here and there, as you can see, just for extra support. And this beam I had to lay flat, not have it standing. I know people will say, like, why would you lay it down like that? But it would not fit with the blocks, so I have those cement blocks, and I had to lay it down in order to shuffle in, stuff in this beam underneath. And this is the tape. It's like a 4-something inches or 6 inches, I believe, that I just applied to. I know the water is going to be standing there, so even the wood is treated, it slowly gets washed off with the treatment, and then your wood's gonna pretty much rot and get maybe termites or something. So you want to, just to be extra safe, apply this. This roll probably cost me like 20 bucks on Amazon, maybe 30. It was enough to do it. And the other beam also, I believe, was like a 3.5 inches. So here we have locking. I just simply use the deck screws and kind of overlaps, adding also some tape on the house because the old tape kind of became bad. And this is where the transition board, because in order to go across the whole deck, I mean, I needed 2 transition boards. And this is like a little complicated job here. I suggest you do some practicing before doing this on an actual material. To use it, this is pretty much using a heat gun to make a corner without cutting the board, to make it like a nice and complete. So here I practiced on this piece of sample board. I got a couple samples, so I just went through like maybe 5 or 6 before I went ahead with this. On my chops, pretty much anything like the new DeWalt ones have this adjustment depth. You can adjust the depth, how much you want your chops to cut. So once you adjust that, you don't have to readjust it each time. If you're done cutting, you simply lift this little lever right here. So you lift it up, and now you can cut normal. And then if you want to adjust the like use the adjustment again, you just pretty much re-engage it down. So what it does, it just kind of like stops the saw right there. So you see it doesn't completely go down, it just kind of stops. So you can adjust how much you want to. So first I'm just gonna simply cut this. Oops, forgot to plug it in. I'm cutting like a smaller piece for this corner, so I don't have to deal with the longer. This would make this job much easier. And you can tell why. So now time to mark where we're gonna create this notch. So we're just trying to cut this 45 degrees, then 45 degrees again, and then then we can bend it on this exact spot. So you want to use like you want to be careful with this. Make sure you measure it correctly so it clears the actual corner here. So after you cut the notch out, what you want to do is use like a multi-tool and get this thing out and like clean it up pretty much. I also use like other tools to scrape it out, and you want to make sure you can see the coloring of the brown, let's say in my case. So now it's time for more complicated job, the heat gun. So you usually, I mean, how I did it, I heat it up like inside, like as you can see the cutout, and then after a little bit of time, you don't want to put any stress on this board because it's very fragile. If you like start bending right now, this is not enough heat. The heat has to be like enough. It almost has to be bending by itself pretty much, because if you accidentally bend too fast, it's just gonna crack. That's why you want to practice on like some boards that you can just throw away. You don't need them, because if you mess up, you mess up, and this thing will crack, and you know. So I kind of fast forwarded here, but this process was like a little lengthy. You know, you have to like, the heat has to be evened out, like not just with the corner itself, but like maybe inch around the corner, and that's what we got here. You also want to make sure you have like a 45 degrees, so if you happen to cut the like wrong distance, you might like the 45 degree angle might not be there, so you might, you know, want to add some glue here, like construction glue, to keep this from, you know, changing the angle. So I use the square to make sure like it's actually 45 degrees, and then use some construction glue to put this on. And you want to use the construction glue vertically up down, not horizontally, so it doesn't hold the water and moisture. So screw it down with the screws, same color. That's our final product right here. That's the corner, and also I did the board on the top now, and started working my way with the actual decking. So the brown boards are going to be the transition and the trim, like a portrait style. So the gray boards are much cheaper, so that's the main area I'm using this. Those are like by TimberTech. All four sides are capped, so that's great. This is my wire for the LED lights that I'm gonna install. So I'm just running one big wire across the deck, and then I can hook up to the smaller wires, like a small gauge wires. And this is also the tool I'm using to attach the deck boards to fix. This is grade tool. It's like $50 in Home Depot, but you use this tool throughout your whole project, and what it does is once you screw it down, your screws are on the side. They're like 45 degrees. About 45 degrees, and they go on the side, and that way you can't feel it when you're walking barefoot on your deck, and you can barely see it as well. So it gives like a nice clean look for the deck. And this one right here where you cannot fit the tool, I simply just, before putting the decking board, I put in the screw halfway before, you know, using the impact drill to actually tighten it. And I did have here actually 3 spacers. Those are also on Home Depot website. I'm not sure if they have it in the store, but those spacers, I needed them because to align it in different areas. The tool itself has a spacer. I mean, it spaces it out. There's 2 different tools, like I believe 216 or 316, and this one I believe is I want to say 3/8 or something. Or actually no, not 3/8, it's about 316. I think this is the gap. So there's also I think you can do a 1/4 inch as well, but for this deck in 316 I think it's what's recommended. So I mean, it's very easy once you get started and, you know, get a hold of this tool. It just goes, the job goes so much faster, and you simply just have to clean up all this build up decking, I guess, material on your tool, and I'll show you in a little bit how to do that. So this is the transition board. It's gonna go here. I'm gonna cut this off later. Just gonna like clamp down a board and just simply cut it off by, you know, adjusting the depth so it doesn't cut the actual boards underneath the framing boards. So another like a trim board I attached here so I could proceed with my decking to the next section. This is the wire for the lighting, and that's where the transformer will go next to this outlet. And here you can see by the wall the tool does not, like, you can't fit the tool in there, so I had to just use regular same color screws for this decking material, and just by the wall I had to go through, you know, just from the top. So I mean, the process is simple. You put the spacers and the job just pretty much goes quick. And just make sure you have like a headphones or something so you can enjoy yourself and not get bored with this, because it gets very repetitive to the point where you feel like you're like a machine. You want your drill to be set on maximum speed because pretty much the screw itself starts drilling the hole, in order for it to drill a nice hole and to be fast enough. I mean, you don't want to make it, you don't want to waste a lot of time. So you have to have a good impact drill with a, with a good battery. So you can, I mean, you can have a smaller battery. Just, I use the hammer to simply just even out those some holes. They kind of like make this like mess up the board a little bit. So I just use the hammer to kind of even it out. It's not necessary. I don't know why I did it. This actually was pretty fun. I mean, yeah, that's how you clean the tool, because if you don't clean those things, those are actually sets your spacing. So if you don't clean it, it kind of builds up all this compost and plastic material, and then your space gonna be off a little bit. You don't want that to happen. This is the next corner. After finishing like all the fascia around, I did similar kind of corner and started building my stairs here. So there were about 5 feet. So I used 4 boards that I attached, and those are the hangers I used. You have to bend it in that spot right there, and it looks like that once you attach it. You need like a smaller screws, and then I mean, yeah, I use different kind of screws, and those are galvanized screws, not like a regular backing that I'm using for the wood. So this is my first step. I kind of built this one extra durability. I didn't want this thing to, I didn't want to step on it and have it, swing up and down. So this is how it's gonna look, and I'm gonna add some little piece of fascia on the side, which I kind of already cut it out. So like after adding fascia and some tape, of course, I had to buy another roll of tape because my 10 rolls of tape ran out. And this is the light, hole for the light, LED light I'm gonna install on each step on both sides. It kind of gets dark in this area, so I always tend to trip when I'm walking. So here's my fascia. The corner kind of made it, look like similar to here. Well, not quite yet, but close enough. This side I didn't put any, I add any fascia. Nobody gonna be able to see that from regular, angles. So those are LED lights on top as well. So I have only on the gray board, and this is the other side of the deck that also had 2 steps. I already included all the wiring, wires, and those are my LED lights that I bought on Temu. I could not find them anywhere else. Like, I just wanted like a small light. The holes are like a 5/8 of an inch. I think the whole light is like 1 inch size, but those are actually very bright. This is like in the middle of the day I'm filming. I mean, it's not very sunny, but it's still daylight, and look how bright this thing is. I mean, at night it gives like a crazy amount of light, and those are so tiny. Like, why don't they sell those on Amazon or somewhere? I mean, I literally had to buy those from Temu. So I mean, I actually like went also on Amazon bought this transformer, this like transformer with a sensor, so like it turns on when it's dark and off when it's sun goes up. And I mean, you can see the final product. There are some things I could have done better, but this is my first DAG, so I kind of excuse myself. I don't think I want to do another DAG in my life unless I have to, really. I mean, it was kind of annoying job, and if you don't do like a lot of construction work, your body like is not used to it. Even like I work out in the gym like normal workouts, nothing crazy, but I mean, this is another level when you like have to hold these boards for pretty much like all day long and non-stop, because if you stop, usually you just kind of get tired and you want to sit down and things like that, so you just kind of have to keep working. And that's it. I got some pictures, I guess a couple pictures of this final product, and also I have a video of the of the deck at night, so you can see how those lights look like when it gets dark. It was raining, so it was not the best weather for this, but here it is. I mean, let me know what you think in your comments. This is first time I'm doing decking, and after some little research and talking to people in the Home Depot, that's what I got. Thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more projects like this, and tell me what projects you want me to do in the future.